Hey, what's up, time travel enthusiasts? It's me, your boy DORB, and I left my fan on. Hold on. One of these days I'll get it. Anyways, hi gang, and time travel enthusiasts. It's been a while since we played this game. What happened last time? I can't really recall. The way this game's paced, it's kind of weird. Okabe basically decided that he wanted to interact more with Kurisu, and some weird cult dude showed up and tried to kill the doctor and Maho because they're making cool AIs or something. I'll need a little time to warm up on the story, I think. But not much else has happened, I don't believe. Things kind of picked up fast. The way this is paced is significantly different from the first game, but that's okay. I mean, you've already went through like 40 hours of setup. There might as well be some cool car chases, I guess. That's the most important part. It's time for the Christmas party. And we invited Dr. Leskinen and Maho over to meet all our fun friends. And I'm sure it's gonna be great. Hold on a sec, let me get the game up. And we'll get started soon. Just a heads up, this stream might end a little bit early. It depends on when this chapter ends, I guess. I'm in the process of updating the archive, but yeah, it hasn't been updated in a while. I organized a bunch of videos. I got some of them uploaded recently. I haven't done thumbnails for any of them, though it doesn't matter that much, but... But later this evening, I'm going to try to get into the Baldessian Arsenal that's happening in 2 hours and 55 minutes. So whenever this chapter ends, I'm gonna switch over to Final Fantasy, and we'll do that for a little bit. Cause I guess they have like one goblin run here on the weekend. And it's probably the only time I'm going to be able to make it for a while, so I thought I'd give it a try. Anyways, game. Let me get the game. The game. Need borderless. Got borderless. Need chat. Got chat. Get rid of the fucking Final Fantasy blur. Did it. No one even had to tell me. Let me see the sad intro again. Yeah. Oh well, I'm sure it's gonna get better. Depression time? What do you mean? This just feels like always. Continue. Closed epigraph. Where did I save this at? Bro, where'd you save it at? What happens if I quick load? I think that was maybe the closest one. That's alright. It's not that far. I'll have to click through some stuff. I really didn't save in another slot. I could have sworn I did, but I'm dumb as hell. That's absolute zero though. Hold on. X-Day Protocol. Yeah, this is the one, I think.
せっかくのクリスマスイブなんだから。
ああ、
Blah blah blah. Gotta get to the Christmas party.
アプリのアイコン、アクセス権はちゃん。
Mm-hmm.
めんどくさい人のスマホとにらめっこし。
わかってる。そう、せかさないで。
Yep. Hi, Kurisu.
いや。
どうも。私に何かもう話した。
いや、その。
クリス、彼が別に聞かないとは。ほら、早くしなさいよ。
I'm kind of torn. I kind of miss old Okabe.
ああ。
He's too sad now.
俺なんかに、それにこの前、昔あったテスターを。
Christmas party. Skip. Skip sure ain't skipping very fast. Hello, Skip? Skip, are you actually skipping? Because this feels like auto.
それ本気で言ってる。だってこの前変わった人。
お、
いいわ、こっちから出す。
交換条件だって。わかっ。
今日これからマホス。は？ちょっと今日は何のクリスマス。
Merry Christmas.
どういうさあ岡部さん。
わかっ。ヒアジョさん。
パーティー？
友達と。そう、
あ、いや。クリス、私はだったら。
ヒアジョさん。
どうしてこんな先輩のあなたね。そもそも。
いや、リンタロウ、マホ。
おかえりなさい、教授。
マホ、ストップ。それとも。
Christmas party. Christmas party.
素晴らしい。ぜひ、もちろん。
決まりですね。まったく。ねえ、岡部。私なんかに嬉しかった。気が向いたら。
気が向いた。
魔法戦。クリス。
Alright, well, I hope that caught you up.
ああ。でも、俺の友達。
そういう。
とにかく。
クリスの子。
まあでも、それに。
あなた、本当に変わっているわ。
Uh-oh. God, how far back is this? Hold on. How was there not an autosave? There had to have been an autosave. Hold on a second. Let me stop wasting more time. Cancel. Back out. 1. Save. We're gonna save it in like the very back slot right here. And then I'm going to go quick load. Yeah, that's it. That's the only one. Oh well. Skip UX. Skip still not doing nothing.
ごめん。
病み上がりの娘を心配しない親はい
Oh well,
ない
it
や
gives me
つ
more time to
よ。
finish my coffee at least. So.
なあ、
ダメ。
機械の面。
それは分かって。
なあ、鈴葉。
父さん一人。
今日もかがりたん風邪治ったばっかりなんだ。
No, that doesn't seem to do it either.
つうか、
締めに。
どれ？
うん。
顔中。
I don't know if it might be something that's broken because of the patch.
ああ、先に
このマシン
全く
作った。
僕。
父さん。私、この世界をなくしてしまって本当にいいのかなって。私の そしたら
うん
今の私
ん
真面目な話をし
迷ってるまあ今が消えだって
父さん
鈴葉はいろいろつうかさ
だらしないな。幻滅だよ。
あれ
顔そのボルト閉めたら
お
Christmas party.
父さん
ん
幻滅とか父さんはけど
鈴
だから日本は安全だなん戦争前夜なんだよ。
大きいどき
Is it time? Is it time for the Christmas party? Oh, thank God. Hold on. Let me save real quick. Because apparently I don't know how to save. We'll put it right here in slot number 1. Wait, hold on. No. Okay. The lab was filled with Santas, just like I heard on the phone. And all of them were wearing mini skirts.
おかり来たにゃ来たにゃ。準備はバッチリですよ。どうもメリクリです。おかりんさんこんばんは。
おう
The sight of so many girls in a small room like this, all wearing Santa miniskirts, threatened to overwhelm me. Hey, thank you for the resub. I was having trouble deciding where to look when Lukaku staggered in front of me.
おかべさん。
ルカコ
Why are you like emo Santa? What are you wearing, man? I didn't expect the Santa in black. And wasn't he exposing an awful lot of skin? Yeah, look at all that. It was really erotic. But he's a guy.
おかべさん。僕。
ルカコなんていうかお疲れ
It must have been hard being the only guy. I gave him a pat on the shoulder and he smiled, relieved. Show me the rest of the outfit!
私もサンタ服着たかったな。
What the fuck?
じゃあ来年はなえちゃんの分も作ってあげるね。本当？うん。ありがとう、まゆりお姉ちゃん。えへへ。さあおかり、入って入って。
ダルと鈴葉は
まだ連絡ないんだ。
The biggest goal today was to get Suzuha to participate. It was no exaggeration to say that's why Mayuri held this party.
ちなみにおかりんのお客様は？
I told him earlier that I was bringing Dr. Leskinen and Maho. I brought the two of them inside.
紹介するレスキネン教授だ
Merry Christmas!
おお。あら。おっきい。
ありがとう、キュートなお嬢さん。
でもお父さんの方がおっきい。
それともう一人ヒア城真帆さんだ
どうも、はじめまして。おお。あら。
I really hope, I hope Mayuri's friends actually, like, turn into something in this story, because I feel, I feel like they pad out the story a lot with nothing. But maybe it'll turn into something soon, I don't know.
あら、ニャンニャンの人。小学生？中学生？これでも成人しているのよ。
Whoa.
ごめんなさい。
Maho's smile froze on her face.
なゆりちゃん、どう思う？二人とも逸材だよ。マユシーは妄想がはかどります。なえちゃんの分も含めて小さめのサイズを用意しておけばよかった。マユシー、一生の不覚だよ。そのリトルサンタコンビは見たかったな。だよね。
Mayuri had her in her sights then. There was no escape for Maho now. Mayuri was stubborn. She'd even managed to convince the legendary Shai Lukaku.
教授先生の方はあの身長に合うコスは作ったことないよ。存在だけですでに勝ちだけどね。もふもふトナカイさんの着ぐるみを着てもらいたいかも。赤鼻もつけて。それはどうかな。
Wait, were they seriously going to dress the professor up as a reindeer?
マユリ、誰も彼もコスプレ趣味を理解してくれるとは思わない方がいいぞ。
あ、そうだね。無理強いするのは良くないよね。でも最近はコンビニなんかでもクリスマスには店員さんがサンタさんの格好をしていますよ。コミマとクリスマスだと性質はだいぶ違いますよね。
Or so you say, but basically you want to dress the two of them up in Santa outfits, don't you?
というわけで、マホさん、サンタ服よかったらマユシーのを貸しましょうか。
Mayuri was already going after her. Maho refused as forcefully as she could, but Dr. Leskinen was surprisingly interested. He'd been trying to put on a triangular paper party hat.
タルくんから連絡来たよ。もうすぐ作ってすずさんと一緒。
Mayuri was looking at her smartphone. It looked like Daru had pulled it off. I guess he really was Suzuha's dad. This meant we'd succeeded in our biggest objective, which meant that it was on to the next mission. We'd all decided that we were all going to surprise Suzuha. Suzuha didn't know that we were all waiting for her. We each grabbed a noisemaker and got into position. Dr. Leskinen and Maho helped too. Maho seemed unsure, but Dr. Leskinen was more than willing to participate. Hey, you know what? I hear something in the background of the stream. I'll be right back. I gotta go fix something real quick. You think I do this stuff before the start of the stream, but you know what? There we go. Sorry about that. The bathroom fan makes this really loud squealing noise if I keep it running for too long. And I can hear it through like 2 layers of walls. But I'm back. Maho seemed unsure, but Dr. Leskinen was more than willing to participate.
ズハさんのびっくりした顔なんてなかなか見られないもんね。でも実はとっても甘いもの好きなのにゃ。
You know what would really surprise Suzuha? If you got in the fucking time machine, Okabe.
それにとても親切なんですよ。この前挨拶したら返してくれたよ。へえ、私ももっと鈴葉さんと仲良くできたらいいな。なれるよ。きっと大丈夫。相性はぴったりだよ。
And then we heard Daru's voice from outside the window, in the alley below the building.
よし、中へ入るぞ。鈴葉と一緒に中へ入るぞ。
His voice was loud and unnaturally expository. Once he got below the lab, he was supposed to give a signal. Everything was going as planned. We all went shh at each other in the darkness. I could hear 2 sets of footsteps coming up the stairs. Everyone held their breath and waited. The timing was critical. But would she be able to figure it out before we acted? The room was filled with different smells, like the girl's perfume and the aroma of the food they'd made. Didn't Suzuha always notice these things more quickly than an ordinary person would? I started to get worried. And then I heard the sound of the front door opening.
あれ、今日は誰も来てないんだね。
そういう日もあるよ。
Daru, you idiot, your voice is shaking. I got even more nervous. Was it time yet? Where was the signal? I felt like my hands were going to slip and trigger the noisemaker too early. Oh no, that's a bad idea. Someone's gonna get shot. My palms are soaked with sweat. I could tell Suzuha was taking off her shoes. Ferris gave the signal. Ah! Everyone in the room's dead. The second the lights went on, we all activated our noisemakers. I could see Suzuha flinch for just an instant. Yep, here we go. But I couldn't follow what happened after that. That's how fast she was. She dropped down, sprung off the floor, and leapt toward Yuki, who happened to be standing in front of her. She might have broken Yuki's jaw with the base of her palm before I could shout at her to stop. Fortunately, Yuki had been surprised by Suzuha's sudden charge and had slipped when she tried to step back. Because of this, Suzuha's palm barely missed Yuki's nose as it sliced through the air. By the time I finally shouted, it was all over. Merry Christmas, everyone! Suzuha had grabbed Yuki before she fell down and was holding her up. Yuki, Suzuha, and all the rest of us were too stunned to speak. That was close. If the timing of events had been slightly different, Yuki could have been badly hurt. Everyone finally realized what had happened and began to panic. Yuki simply lay in Suzuha's arms, blinking her eyes. Oh, sorry. Suzuha seemed to snap back to reality. She was looking around at everyone. Sorry, I just noticed Daru.
すごい動きだったわね。僕早すぎて見えませんでした。ユキさん大丈夫
？Suzuha was looking around the room. Did she still not understand what was going on? Did she not realize that it was a party since she'd never been to one before? The walls and ceilings were covered in wreaths and ribbons. There was a folding table filled with food, cakes, snacks, and drinks.
パーティー？ごめんなさい。びっくりさせようって言い出したの私なんです。
Yuki backed away from Suzuha and started to bow apologetically.
鈴葉、これはなんつうかサプライズってやつを演出してみたわけで、みんな決して悪気があったりとかじゃなくって。鈴葉？
父さん、兄さんも知ってたの？
うん。
そっか。だから今日はなんか変だったんだ。ごめんね、すずさん。企画したのはマユシーなんだよ。だからユキさんやダルくんを怒らないで。怒るならマユシーにして。やだな、マユ姉さん。私そんなにいつも怒ってる？
Suzuha looked around the room.
ふん、すごいね。いつものラボとは思えないや。でしょ？みんなで飾り付けしたんだよ。うん、本当にすごい綺麗だ。
Suzuha laughed half-heartedly and began backing towards the door.
どこ行くの？あ、どこって、マユ姉さんたちパーティーするんでしょ？邪魔しちゃ悪いからさ。もう兄さんってば気が利かないよな。こんなところに私がいても仕方ないじゃないか。そんなことないにゃん。一緒にやろうにゃ、パーティー。え？でも私こういうのしたことないし。楽しくご飯食べたりおしゃべりしたりするだけだよ。だからね。
Mayuri grabbed Suzuha's hand tightly to keep her from getting away.
マユ姉さん？
ほら、鈴葉の席もちゃんと用意できてるのだぜ。
けど本当にどうしたらいいのか私。
いいから座れっつーの。
すずさん。
Mayuri half-dragged Suzuha over to the seat next to me and forced her to sit down.
はいはい、皆さん、これで全員揃ったにゃ。はい、拍手拍手。
Everybody started to applaud at Fubuki's signal. Daru played some Christmas carols on the computer. The grim atmosphere that had begun to fill the room was banished. I felt a little relieved.
それじゃあまず乾杯をするにゃ。グラスに好きな飲み物を注いでにゃ。
Everybody started to look at the various drinks on the table.
ほら、鈴葉。
Suzuha still looked like she was feeling as though she didn't belong, so I poured her some non-alcoholic champagne. Wow, thanks.
やっぱり私無理だよ、こういうの。
なんで？
だって遊ぶためにこの時代へ来たわけじゃない。
The reason she came to this era, huh? I didn't have the right to say anything about that. I was the only reason she was stuck here, unable to fulfill her task. But even so,
たまにはいいじゃないか。
yeah, Suzuha, just give up.
でも
鈴葉は考えすぎだっつーの。
Daru joined the conversation.
みんなとご飯食べるだけだって。どのみちお腹は空いてるっしょ。
それは
Maybe Daru's statement caused her to realize it because her stomach rumbled.
うん。
ほれ見ろ。みんながいろいろ作ってくれたんだから、ありがたくいただけばいいんだって。
Yeah, Suzuha, it's only World War III. It's only 5 billion dead people, Suzuha.
みんな飲み物の用意はいいかにゃ。それでは今回のパーティーを企画したマユシ、一言どうぞにゃ。
Mayuri stood up, flustered. As she stood, she bumped into Lukaku, who was standing next to her. The two of them almost spilled their drinks.
うわー、ルカ君ごめんね。マユリちゃん落ち着いて。
Mayuri started to take deep breaths.
今日はクリスマスイブなので。
Oh, yo, I have to pull up my flowchart. Hold on. Steins Gate 0 patch. Guides. Okay. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Spoiler-free guide. Let's see, when is the next date? A while. Okay.
どこもリア充さんでいっぱいだけど、今年はマユシーたちもパーティーをしてリア充さんになろ
Whoa. Normies for one day.
う。いや、それリア充の意味が違うと思うな。
Fubuki whispered, a little sad.
ふぶきちゃん、何人もの後輩ちゃんからクリスマスデートに誘われたのよね。それはもう熱烈に。全員女の子の後輩だけどね。とにかくみんなが楽しんでくれればマユシーは嬉しいな。終わりです。
Okay. Everybody have a good time. Suzuha answered with an expression that wasn't quite a smile.
それじゃあ乾杯するにゃ。マホにゃん、温度よろしくにゃ。私？せっかく来てくれたんやから自己紹介も兼ねてよろしくにゃ。
Maho stood up with a slight frown and thought for a moment before she opened her mouth.
今日は皆さんの集まりに招待してくれてありがとう。私とレスキネン教授はアメリカ在住なので、こうして日本でクリスマスを迎えるのは初めてです。こういう友人同士での賑やかなクリスマスもとてもいいものだと。何か面白いこと言ってにゃ。
Yeah, that was boring.
面白いことにゃ。
Faris, you're crazy. Oh, she was totally losing it. She was worse than Mayuri had been a moment ago. It was hard to believe that I'd seen her interrupting or seen her interpreting in front of a huge crowd at ATF. Was she bad at ad-libbing? That is interesting, I guess. Maho's desperate attempt at something interesting was cute, but honestly a little embarrassing. I felt like watching a small, adorable animal. Meow. Ferris and Mayuri were the only ones who seemed really impressed.
私ったら何を言っているのかしら。
ヒヤジョーさん、そろそろ乾杯を。
そうね、そうするわ。それじゃあ乾杯。乾杯。
Kampai. Everybody happily clinked their glasses together. Since I was the only one who invited since I was the one who invited Maho to the party, I decided to cheer her up.
面白い乾杯の挨拶だったよ。
自己嫌悪だわ。
何を言うんだい。クールなキャットだったじゃないか。
マホニャン、いつからメイクインで働いてくれるにゃ。そんなつもりはないから。
Ferris and Dr. Leskinen were both enjoying trying to make her feel better.
すずさん、乾杯だよ。すずさん、私も。あ、うん。
Suzuha still had a somber look on her face, but Mayuri, Yuki, and Daru forced her into a toast.
はい、すずさん。これ、マユシーが作ったんだよ。
Mayuri put a piece of quiche on a plate and gave it to Suzuha. When Suzuha took a bite, her expression began to shine.
おいしい。ほんと？もっと食べて。どんどん食べて。そんな一度に食べられないよ。
Okabe? Okabe looks like a praying mantis. I wouldn't count him.
あ、そう？
Next, Mayuri offered the quiche to Maho and the professor.
マホさんとレスキネンさんもどうぞ。ありがとう。
おいしい。これはおいしいですね。
えへへ。じゃあこちらもどうぞ。エビグラタンとあとフライドチキンはエスニック風にしてみました。
Excellent.
持っているんですね。
Yuki went around and offered everyone something to eat. But she couldn't bring herself to offer any to Suzuha. Mayuri kept motioning for her to go over, but Yuki just kept fidgeting. Maybe she was thinking about it too much. But Suzuha kept devouring all the food that Mayuri and Yuki had prepared, and gushing over each dish. The two of them had been practicing their cooking for about a month here in the lab. I guess it paid off.
ケーキもあるよ。楓さんがデコレーションしてくれたんだ。あんまり上手にできなかったけど許してね。楓さんって不吉祥さんだもんね。でもそんな楓さんが萌えだよ。ちっとも褒められてる気がしないわ。
Everyone laughed. Then, about an hour after we started eating, when she saw that everyone had eaten enough food, Ferris clapped her hands together loudly to draw everyone's attention.
さてさて皆さん、盛り上がってきたところでそろそろプレゼント交換をしたいと思うんだにゃ。私たち間に合わせのものしか用意できなかったけど。
Maho and the professor had stopped by Donkey Hote on their way from Wako City. Spent just 10 minutes picking out presents.
大丈夫、それでバッチリだにゃ。私持ってきてない。
鈴葉の分は僕とマユシで準備してきたお。
マユシーが選びました。そうなんだ。ごめん。
気にしなくていいのだぜ。いいのだぜ。
Mayuri mimicked Daru's words as she pulled out 2 small wrapped parcels from her bag and put them on the table. They both had the same wrapping as the one Daru was holding. They must have bought them at the same place. Mayuri had already explained to me Operation Number 2. Mayuri's plan for the evening was not only to make Suzuha smile, but to bring Yuki and Daru a little closer together.
プレゼント交換の方法なんだけど、いろいろ考えて結局くじ引きにしたにゃ。
Ferris gathered together everyone's presents and put little stickers with numbers on them.
にゃんにゃにゃん。
And then she lifted a bundle of disposable chopsticks above her head.
これはマユシーが今夜王様ゲームをやろうとして持ってきたものだにゃ。ああ、言わないでよメリスちゃん。
おいマユリ、王様ゲームっていうのは合コンの時とかにするもんだぞ。
分かってるよ。ちょっと勘違いしただけだもん。
女の子から命令されるのって僕は大好物だけどね。
橋田さん、本当に変態さんですね。ということで、マユシーがちょっと勘違いした。
I don't know, that's kind of fucked up coming from you, Fubuki. But alright, sure.
引いた番号のプレゼントをゲットできるのにゃ。
Ferris loudly shuffled all the chopsticks and then went around to everyone so they could draw one. She was also part of Mayuri's plan. In fact, Mayuri and Ferris were sending signals to each other with eye contact and with their fingers. While everyone was focusing on the chopsticks, they were busy relabeling Yuki and Daru's presents. They were so obvious about it that I started getting nervous that Yuki would find out.
みんな聞いたかにゃ。それじゃあプレゼントを渡すにゃ。中身を見るのはみんなに行き渡ってからにゃぞ。ワクワクしますね。何が当たるかな。
Ferris and Mayuri passed out the presents according to the numbers that everyone drew. Once the presents were handed out, everyone started to take off the wrapping paper. Nai was the first to react as she gave out a very strange cry. Inside her box was a skull face.
それかっこいいでしょ。ベルトのバックルだよ、ナイちゃん。
Whoa, cool! A belt.
きっと人気者だと思うな。
Yeah.
ありがとう。
Lukaku, you terrified her. I was feeling bad for Nai, but when I took out my own present.
誰だこれは。
The box had a cute design, and inside it was what looked like a see-through white veil. The veil was decorated here and there with little pink ribbons. This can't be a...
ん？ああ、オカリンさんのところへ行ったか。そのままマユシーにプレゼントしてあげるといいよ。
そんなことできるか。
No way, I'm keeping it.
オカリンさんのためなら喜んできてくれるって。
どうしてそういう話になるんだ。
なになに？ マユシーがどうかしたの？
Mayuri heard her own name and came over.
それって何かな？ベビードールだよ、マユシ。しかも超可愛くてセクシーなやつ。オカリンさんのために着てあげなよ。
Thanks! A baby doll, a type of lingerie worn by women, characterized by its wide hem that fluffs out. And I gotta click on this one again just to read it. There you go.
そんなわけにはいかないだろ
それならオカリンさんが自分で着てもいいんですよ。
Yeah.
う。これは返す。いくらでも自分で楽しんでくれ。
Oh, I pushed the baby doll lingerie back into Fubuki's hands.
じゃあこっちと交換します？
Fubuki handed me her present in exchange. The wrapping and lid had already been removed. I took a quick look inside. Sexy pink shorts and a pink bra. Yep, they were see-through.
私が持ってきたプレゼントです。まゆりちゃんに着てもらえるなら嬉しいです。どうぞ。
君たちにはそういう発想しかないのか。
まゆしはもうオカリンからプレゼントもらったからいいよ。
Mayuri had drawn my present, perhaps because we were childhood friends. By the way, I'd chosen a huge chunk of chocolate in the shape of a gold bar. The kind of thing you'd find in Don Quixote bargain bin.
オカリンさんさ、もうちょっと
Don
なんかなかったの？
Quixote.
うるさいな。パーティーではこういうのがウケるって雑誌に書いてあったんだ。
いや、これはないわ。うん。ないわね。
なんだって。
I want it. The magazine said it was a sure thing.
マユシーは嬉しいよ。だって金の延べ棒だよ。こんなの一生触れないよ。いい子だ、マユシーは。本当にいい子ね。よしよし。
Fubuki and Kaide were patting Mayuri's head, half out of sympathy and half because she was cute. Somehow, I ended up as the bad guy.
じゃあ次は私が開けてみますね。
Yuki started to open her present. She took out a cute wooden music box. When she opened the lid, there was a little tin figure that danced.
すごいかわいい。素敵ね。ロマンティックです。いいな。
The girls all seemed really impressed. But Lukaku's a guy. It definitely looked like something a woman would enjoy receiving. With as many girls that were coming to this party, it might have been the perfect choice. Wait, maybe I should have brought something like that. But then I realized that the idea had never occurred to me.
これ一体誰からのものにゃ？
Ferris, you're making it way too obvious. It was Upa.
僕
Daru reluctantly raised his hand.
うわあらまあ。ダルおじさん、すごいね。ふん、やるね、兄さん。
Everyone except Mayuri and Ferris, who knew about it in advance, raised their voices in surprise.
これ橋田さんなんですね。
どうかな。マユシからアドバイスしてもらって選んだだけなんだけどさ。
大切にしますね。
Yuki held the music box close to her heart, her chest. She seemed really happy.
Oh.
And then her expression turned confused as she looked down into the box. Then she started to fidget.
ごめんなさい。私ちょっと。
Sorry, my brain sees what it wants to see. She hurried off toward the washroom, still holding the box. She must have seen the trick. According to what Mayuri had told me earlier, there was a fake letter from Daru himself taped to the bottom of the box. It was something like a love letter, along with an invitation to a movie day. I wonder how she was reacting. Meanwhile, Daru had also opened his present, and he looked a little bothered. He'd been given Ferris's present. Until he'd opened it, he looked really happy, but now he'd gone completely silent. According to Mayuri, he was going to get a pair of movie tickets. And even though it was a present from Ferris, the tickets came with instructions to use them on a date with Yuki. Ferris responded to Daru's questioning gaze with a wink. "Good luck, nya," she seemed to be saying. For her part, Ferris received some kind of strange doll that Maho had bought at Don Quixote. Lukaku's present was a miniature remote-controlled helicopter that Dr. Leskinen— Dude, that's sick! And Dr. Leskinen got some fucking crayons. Wow, Nai. You shouldn't have. Suzuha's present was a pair of handmade gloves. Yuki had evidently made them herself. She put them on, looking happy, but maybe a little lonely, and smiled.
Suzuha, yokatta jan.
っていうか、兄さんは何が当たったの？
これ。
Daru realized he'd been set up, and he was clearly avoiding looking at her. Suzuha seemed to understand and patted him on the back with a gentle expression on her
いいん
face.
じゃない？行ってきなよ。
なんだお鈴浜で。
だって二人を見てるとじれったいからさ。
けどリアルでデートなんかしたことないし。
母さんもそうらしいよ。
え、そうなん？うん。そっか。
Yuki came back from the bathroom. She seemed to be having trouble walking straight. She sat back in her seat, but began to nervously nibble on snacks at the table. And once in a while, she would take a look at Daru. For now, the movie ticket plan seemed to be going— Is it? I don't know. That seemed concerning to me. Staring too much could tip her off. I should probably pretend I didn't know anything.
マユシーが用意したオルゴールは真帆さんに行ったんだね。
Whoa. Mayuri raised her voice when she saw the music box in Maho's hands. It was shaped like a deformed bear, and when you wound it up, its hands and legs would jerk back and forth as it played a tune. It was a very different design than the one Yuki had received.
いいのかしら。こんな素敵なものをいただいてしまって。いいんですよ。どうぞどうぞ。どんな音？聞きたい。そうですね。僕も聞いてみたいです。
Maho started to wind it up. As she wound it, Kaede turned off the music in the background.
じゃあ。
Maho took her hand off the winding key, and the mechanical yet gentle sound that was unique to the music boxes two music boxes began to play. The lively atmosphere of the lab was replaced with a feeling of calmness and peace. We listened quietly to the sound of the music box.
まゆしいね。この曲大好きなんだ。僕もです。ポカポカした気持ちになるね。そうね。あ、そうか。この曲だ。
Oh. Suzuha stood up, as if suddenly remembering something.
ゆきさん、ほら、覚えてない？はい？
Yuki was spacing out so hard that she was starting to panic when Suzuha spoke to her.
私が寝込んでた時、ゆきさんがここで歌ってたよね。ああ、そういえば。うん、確かにこの曲だよ。
Suzuha seemed to be remembering something as her eyes narrowed.
ねえ、まゆ姉さん、これ、なんていう曲？ね、これは。
Mayuri was about to speak, and then... out of nowhere, the world twisted. I moaned in pain as an incredible sense of wrongness flooded through me. The whole lab seemed to twist and fade. The happy party I'd been experiencing warped and waved like a mirage. This couldn't be. No. Somewhere far away, I heard something that sounded like a violent crash. I was just barely able to move my eyes in the direction it came from, and I saw Fubuki falling to the floor as she knocked over a table. Kade and Ferris ran over to her, calling her name. But it all looked so blurred, like I was watching a movie underwater and everything was moving so slow. Their voices were getting further and further away. No matter how much I stretched out my hand, it reached no one and touched nothing. It was a terrible feeling, as if time and space were being torn apart, and even matter itself was losing its subjectivity. This feeling. Even I didn't want to remember it. I knew what this awful feeling was. I knew it far better than I had ever wanted. This was reading Steiner. Huh. Well, shoot. Well, that unfortunately stopped in the weird spot. I didn't think we'd get to the next chapter within like 50 minutes, but I guess that happened. Well, shoot. What time is it? It's 11:32. I've got an hour and a half about, so let me check. Let me double check that real quick, because I'm not that great with time. Hold on. Yeah, I got like an hour and a half, so. For the first, let me save. Oh no. Hey, I'll be right back. I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a drink. It auto saved. Well, I made a save as well. Hello friends, I've returned. Since I've got so much time, I guess we'll continue. Give me a second though.